On Sunday, February the 17th, Rafael Correa was re-elected for a new four-year term in office with 61% of the vote, according to a number of polls. It is important to know that the re-elected president has won 7 elections in a row, including 3 presidential elections, 1 constituent assembly, 1 confirmation for the new constitution, and 2 midterm elections. Despite the intense polarization among many sectors of Ecuadorian society, a 61% vote in this re-election bid gives Rafael Correa political leverage to further implement his vision. More so when the opposition was not able to work together and put on a fight. Guillermo Lasso, the second incumbent, got only 22% of the votes.
Pero tengan la certeza que lo principal se ha logrado y se ha ratificado este día domingo. Esto es, que aquí ya no manden la bancocracia, que aquí ya no mande la partidocracia, que aquí ya no mande el poder mediático, que aquí ya no mande ningún poder fáctico en función de intereses grupales, que ya no mande el Fondo Monetario, las burocracias internacionales, que aquí ya no mande o manden países hegemónicos. Con todos nuestros errores que podamos cometer, tenga la certeza el pueblo ecuatoriano que con esta revolución mandarán ustedes, las ecuatorianas y los ecuatorianos.
If he finished this new term on 2017, he would be 10 years in power, a new record, in a country famous for its coups. In the previous decade, between 1997 and 2007, there was 10 presidents who at some point were in power, including 5 in 25 hours on January 21st on the year 2000, when Jamil Mawad was taken down. Simón Pachano, a politics and sociology teacher at the Latin American Faculty of Social Sciences campus in Quito, thinks there are 2 main reasons for Correa's popularity.
Se pueden encontrar varias para el éxito y la popularidad de Rafael Correa. Primero, creo que justamente los 10 años anteriores, que fueron de crisis, que fueron de inestabilidad, con eventos muy traumáticos para el Ecuador, como la crisis bancaria, por ejemplo, el derrocamiento de los presidentes, en fin, marcó mucho a la gente y le llevó a buscar una solución que creo que era buscar un líder fuerte, y eso se vio en diversas elecciones. Al final le encontró con Rafael Correa. En segundo lugar, una vez que encontró a este líder, digamos, es como que le entregó un cheque en blanco, como que le dijo, encárguese usted de todo y nosotros nos retiramos a nuestras vidas privadas. Y en gran medida eso es lo que también se ve. La gente se retiró, es el periodo de menor movilización en Ecuador, el periodo de menor participación de la gente, el que hemos visto estos 6 años.
Rafael Correa, a Master of Arts in Economics from the Catholic University Louvain in Belgium, also has a Master of Science in Economics and a PhD in Economics from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. He has taken a firm approach at driving the country out of what many call the lost decade, which according to the re-elected president of Ecuador was caused by what he frequently dubs as the neoliberal night. According to Mark Weisbrot from the Center for Economical and Policy Research, CPR in Washington, the Ecuadorian people has made a clear choice.
Well, I think the reason that he has the most, Ecuador has had the most stability under him that it's had for, at least 100 years, is because he's really brought social and economic progress, and people are satisfied with that. They haven't had anything like this for a long time, Unemployment hit a record low of 4.1% at the end of last year. Poverty is down about 27% since he took office. And you have education spending has doubled.
The main reason for such popular support seems to be an emphasis on the people, not on serving private interest. Instead of an approach based on privatization and austerity that serves the financial institutions and private corporations, Rafael Correa invested in infrastructure and education, controlled public spending, especially debt service, declaring some of Ecuador's foreign debt odious debt and reducing foreign public debt up to 80%, Jorge León, sociologist, author, and teacher of Latin American studies in many universities, believes that the price of the oil has helped Rafael Correa's administration.
Que él ha realizado varias políticas que son aceptadas por la población, en particular la distribución de la riqueza, gracias al hecho que el Ecuador ha crecido sus ingresos con la venta del petróleo, cuyo precio está bastante alto. Por coincidencia, desde que Rafael Correa llegó al gobierno, el precio del petróleo pasó de $13 a 30, 50, 60, 70 y finalmente ha llegado actualmente a 110 estuvo y ahora está en 94, 95 dólares. Eso significa de modo concreto que el presupuesto del Estado, que cuando él llegó, al momento que iba a llegar más bien, estaba alrededor de 5.000 millones de dólares y actualmente se encuentra en 28.000 millones de dólares. Aumentó algo así como 6 a 5 veces el ingreso que tenía el Estado, de modo que puede hacer muchas de las políticas que ha prometido.
The changes to the electoral system enacted in Ecuador's new constitution does not allow for private money in public elections. This has changed the political landscape radically in the past decade. It also mandates all citizens to vote on a national voting day and eliminate those political parties that did not get enough percentage of votes. In the two previous presidential elections, Correa has won on a single direct election, with more than half of the votes. As far as foreign policy, Mark Weisbrod believes the U.S. Department of State is wrong to believe that the Latin American political process is the result of a handful of leaders, when in fact it's a social process that goes beyond people like Rafael Correa or Hugo Chavez.
U.S. foreign policy in Latin America is guided by much more than corporations. I mean, there are plenty of cases. You can look at Venezuela, for example, where the biggest oil companies in the United States, Chevron, and for a while ExxonMobil, really didn't want to bother Chavez, and the State Department attempted to destabilize and get rid of that government. And I think they look at it, the United States looks at the left governments, all the left governments, including Brazil, is, you know, they look at them in Cold War terms, like they always did during the Cold War. They don't really want them there. They are starting to portray Correa as maybe the next Chavez, you know, because Chavez is ill. And this is all based on their fantasy, I think, that some kind of strongman leads the Latin American left governments, when really, if you look at all the institutional changes that have taken place from UNASUR to CELAC to ALBA and everything, they have been collective projects, and especially in South America, all of these countries have worked together to the point where even the non-left governments, like Santos, have become, in Colombia, have gone with them and against the United States on a whole number of issues.
Rafael Correa faces 4 critical years for Ecuador. The main challenge now is to keep the country on the path of growth, while shifting the model from a raw material-based one to a new, more sustainable and inclusive one. Reporting for The Real News, this is Oscar Leon.